Hello and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing today? How was your weekend? Look, really, how was y'all weekend, y'all? How's your Tuesday been? How's your weekend? To my people in the Midwest and all over experiencing this snow, y'all good? Look, now we already know the snow is gonna happen. January, probably November, December, the snow gonna happen, y'all. But how y'all doing? Y'all cool? It's been some closing, so hopefully y'all taking advantage of that. All right, boom. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. Y'all know that I appreciate y'all. Hope that your week is off to a fantastic start. Mine is cool. I really can't complain, right? I ain't really got out there with that snow yet. I'm gonna get out there at some point. But for right now, I'm gonna stay in focused and do what I do. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching tonight. I know I really appreciate you. Whether you are watching us live from Facebook, YouTube, listening to the replay, I see you, I love you, and I appreciate you, right? So y'all know I had to get that out of there. So you already know, like tonight's episode is going to be a chef's kiss. But before we get started, I have to do some housekeeping, and then we're going to get into the show because I'm telling you, it is going down. So bring your questions, all of that. All right. So as you know, YouTube, y'all should know this by now. You should be following, liking, subscribing across all platforms, not just one, all platforms, y'all. So on YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period, or you're going to be somewhere. So you're going to be somewhere else. You're going to be like, where am I at? You want to be here. All right, so boom. So if you want to join the forum, y'all, you got to get in the room. It's Relationship Soup Group. If you want to follow me, it's Relationship Soup LLC. And of course, the greeting cards at relationshipsoup.com. All right. Now, y'all already know what I'm going to say next. All right. Y'all already know what I'm going to be talking about next. Hello Me. Y'all, thank y'all so much for the love with Hello Me. Y'all have shown so much love, but in case for my new viewers, Hello Me is my 100-page picture affirmation book for children. There are 100 pages, y'all, of beautiful illustrations. I got to just show y'all right quick. Look at these beautiful illustrations, y'all. And there's also a journal in this book, okay? So this is available right now on Amazon, okay? The pre-sale is going on because the official launch date is February the 23rd, right? So that ebook, order it on Amazon. If you like hardback, paperback, we got that. Oh, bars. Man, it must be because, the episode tonight. Y'all see them bars right quick? Do y'all see what I did there? No? All right. Anyway. So anyway, again, I appreciate the love, you all. Hello Me is the book that you should get that special child, whether it's your baby, a grandbaby, nephew, niece, students, whatever, right? Hello Me. Give them the gift of positive speaking to themselves positive, to a positive outlook and all that, because truthfully, sometimes we get grown because them seeds wasn't planted, and then we don't have that nurtured inner child like it should be. So Hello Me, y'all. All right, so anyway, got that out of the way. I do see your comments already, and I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and I thank y'all so much. And I'm gonna bring your comments on. Y'all know I'm gonna bring them on, right? But we got to get through some things. I see some new listeners and all of that. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all so much. All right, y'all. So anyway, like I said, this episode is going to be very special. Okay. It's going to be a chef's kiss. I'm speaking it, right? Not only am I writing about the positive and power of words, I'm speaking it. So anyway, tonight's episode, we're going to delve into relationships of all kinds. You already know that's the foundation of Relationship Soup. We talk about relationships of all kinds. All right. So tonight we're going to delve a little bit deeper as far as relationships with regards to music, self, purpose, community, philanthropy. We getting deep tonight, right? Now, before I bring on my dynamic guest, and yes, my guest is dynamic. They all dynamic. Okay. I'll be crossing paths with some wonderful people. All right. So before I bring on this guest, this is what I want to do. Now, I want y'all to think back. Let's get nostalgic for a moment. Now, some of y'all, this might be a little bit before your time, and that's okay. You're going to learn today. So this is what I want you to think about. I want you to think about music from the 90s, all right? Like, we're just going to start there, okay? Now, specifically, I want you to think about hip-hop, all right? Think about hip-hop, rap, I want you to think about that. Now, what is an artist that comes to mind? Who comes to mind? What artist comes to mind? Who comes to mind? So I'm gonna give y'all a second to think about that because I know that we have a delay. And listen, now y'all know how this podcast does sometimes. Sometimes StreamYard and Facebook are not friends. So if you don't see my comments in Facebook, you might want to come over to YouTube because at YouTube, I always be showing the love. All right. So anyway, what artist comes to mind, y'all? Think about that for a second. And if you feel, move, put it in the chat for me. All right. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time to do that. I see y'all comments. I really do appreciate y'all so much. So much love. And I'm gonna bring your comments on, I promise. All right. So anyway. All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. Now, y'all might not have put it in the comments yet because there is a delay. But for those of you who said or thought Tupac Shakur, and I know probably all of y'all did, today's guest is someone who helped to create that sound. Someone who was in the room, not next to the room, not thinking about the room. They was actually in the room when history was being made. My guest today is Kevin Rhames, also known as Q Low. He is a legendary. Okay, let me put the emphasis on legendary. Okay, music producer. He has produced some of Tupac's most iconic tracks. I know y'all didn't already did the research already, right? Because y'all didn't already hollered at me, right? So songs like Pain, God Bless the Dead, and he was instrumental in the creation of the Thug Life movement, okay? So making all kind of impacts. But y'all, let me tell y'all something. Kevin's story does not stop at music, okay? It does not stop at music. The accolades, the gold, the platinum albums, all of that. His portfolio is vast, okay? He is dedicated to mentorship, youth empowerment, public speaking, technology, and innovation. Okay. He has impacted the culture and the next generation, period. Right. It's no debating that. So we are actually going to talk about relationships. And as you all know, relationships are the foundation of everything. Right. We're going to talk about the interconnectedness of relationships and how every relationship built with art, music, people, community, technology, and ourselves is connected, and how it all works together and shapes not only our careers, but our purpose, right? Impact and legacy. I know that was a mouthful. I'm telling you, we getting deep today. Okay. It all works together. And of course, we're going to briefly talk about Kevin, aka Q or Low's background, and his journey. We're going to get into all of that. So relationship with music, mission, community, and philanthropy and self. We hitting all of that tonight. This is going to be a very powerful episode. So y'all get ready, like I said, with your comments, questions, and we're going to dive in. All right. So without further ado, let me welcome to the suit. I am very honored to bring on Low, aka Q, aka Kevin Rhames. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
How you doing? How you doing? Hello, everybody out there. I
Yes.
appreciate that awesome introduction, but I'm humbled by my beginnings, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here. You know what I mean? When we first met, somebody was like, "You need to meet her,"
Uh-huh.
and my dog is drinking
And
water.
you know what? I thought it was a fur baby in the room, and I'm so used to that
No,
because by day I'm a
it's
professor.
like, why he wait till now to start drinking water?
But he's
So
like,
it's
listen,
all good. So, um, I'm grateful. I've come a long way as an artist, not an entertainer. I'm an artist, and when I first met you and we started having these discussions, because I turned down a lot of interviews and different things based on their motives for interviewing me. And so when it's always grounded for the culture, I'm a cultural type of dude.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate it. So hey, I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you so much. And I'm so glad to have you here. And that's one thing. I remember our initial meeting, right? And just because I'm big on energy and aura and all that, I would have had no clue. You know what I mean? Just how your energy is. You're very humble, down to earth, intelligent, and powerful at the same time. Like that truly hit me, just how humble you are, right? So,
I appreciate that.
absolutely. All right, so let's see here. Where do we want to go? All right, so do you want to tell my guests a little something about you? Anything additional before we get into this thing?
Well, I'm originally from Harlem, New York.
Hmm.
I moved to Queens at a certain time in my life, and living in New York it was so different. It wasn't like, oh, living in New York, this is how we gonna do. It's just every minute. If it's a red shirt, all of a sudden this year everybody's wearing a red shirt. If it's a yellow shirt, everybody wearing, because New York is the fashion capital, So all of the different phases of life, whether it's the shell toe Adidas or it's the Kango hats, it was never about music. It
Hmm.
was just that living there, you get fashion all day long. So fashion means nothing, as you can tell. Fashion never left me, the New
I
York
see you.
hat,
I see
the color coordination and all that stuff. So it's more or less that's how you grew up with.
you. Hmm.
And lots of times you find yourself in the midst of that, but as life goes on, as you grow, you find yourself getting into different lanes, and hopefully whatever lane that you get into, you don't lose yourself in those lanes,
Hmm.
depending upon how you're raised. But I don't want to do a lot of dialogue on that. That's a whole nother story. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And that fashion piece, because I have one of my best friends is from Queensbridge. I hope I
Queensbridge, right.
right, because they be like, "Yo, Liz, you didn't get it right," but Queensbridge. And so, one thing I can say, just what I do know about New York, the fashion is crazy. I follow different influencers, and you that's just something New York is known for is fashion. But
Right.
let's do this. So, let's take it back for a second, right?
Okay.
Let's go back in time in a moment when hip hop was raw. Okay, when music had a message, when artists weren't just entertainers, as you made the differentiation earlier. Hey, I ain't just no entertainer, right? Because there's a lot of entertainer, not artists. But we gonna, hey, I digress. They were voices for the voiceless. Okay, and you was there.
Hmm.
Not watching from the sidelines. You was in the actual studio. You was on tour. You was
Right.
creating a soundtrack to a generation with one of the greatest artists to ever do it. Okay. But like I said, this isn't about the music. It's about relationship that was built, right? Because I'm sure you and Tupac probably learned a lot from each other, right?
Hmm.
Not just how to make a hit record, but how to actually be in a relationship, right? With people, community, and purpose. Okay.
Exactly.
So, my question, I know that was a whole mouthful.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay. So, my question, the relationship that started all, how was your creative relationship with Tupac shaped? Not just the music, but how was your worldview shaped? Did that make sense?
Well, to be honest, and I'm going to be transparent because I'm a transparent type of man.
Absolutely.
And before Tupac,
Hmm.
I was a DJ and I became a music producer. But what the world don't know, back then, hip hop was threatened.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what I mean by that is that the other cultures did not accept it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So once the hip hop culture found out, you had your public enemies, you had your X Clan, you had all the people like, wait a minute, we're not going to let them shut this down.
Hmm.
And that's when I came up on the scene as a music producer, where I started visualizing, like, nah, man, they ain't going to do this, man. We going to make it happen.
Hmm.
And most of the rappers, whether you from Brooklyn, Uptown, Queens, Long Island, Staten Island, whatever, it's like it was by any means necessary that we was going to protect the platform, because that was our freedom of speech.
Hmm. Hmm.
So Tupac, and what the world didn't know, that back then he wasn't the Tupac today,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
but we met at a young age where we was goofy, we was still being stupid, And I could share a lot of stupid stories where, we doing our thing. But when it came down to the music, it was all about the culture.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. So, the relationship between artist and producer, right? What makes that partnership transcend to the studio? What what would you say regarding that?
Artist and relationship. So if I'm creating music, back then they had this thing called where you are, let's say, if okay, you have three different parts of the year of you can do submissions, because it was only there's one time of the year that the record industries were shut down because of tax season. So when it's time for that, okay, after tax season, you can submit, because who's going to be a tax write-off, and you as a music producer, you submit your songs to see who has the next record label deal. So me, I would submit to Sony, I would submit to this, I would submit to that. And that's what created, like, okay, so and so like five of your beats. We having a meeting at the studio where they're playing it on the loudspeakers. I still got some of my speakers behind me. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I
That I do some of my stuff,
can.
but you hearing your beats on the live booming sound, and you hearing the artist like, man, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one, and they buy your tracks. But then something very organic happens where you meet the person behind the microphone. And many a times I met people that's not that dude behind that microphone. He just doing it because he trying to get into the lane to to sell records, where he's not really that dude that's representing what he's saying. And back then in New York, you couldn't be a phony. You know what I mean? So, but once I started learning business and all of that, I started learning as I grew. I wasn't like jumping into the game like I knew the game, but the relationship started just from learning people who loved just doing music. We had no idea we was going to sell gold and platinum records. We had no idea, because that was never the motive. But the music you hear today, everybody wants to sell records. Everybody want the bling bling, which is, I'm not a hater of that.
Absolutely.
But back then it was the culture of it, because little do people know, and I'll say this: Tipper Gore, Charlton Heston, the NRA movement. If people don't know that, the National Rifle Association, the people who made the guns, they wanted to shut down hip hop because hip hop was transcending into other cultures. Lawyers, judges, government officials coming home, and their kids is like, "Man, Dad, you ever heard of him?" And they're like, "Oh my God, no,
Absolutely.
you're messing up our family with hip hop." And they wanted to shut it down. And that's when hip hop grew. That's what made us unite to keep it protected. It was never about the killing. It was all about, yo, don't disrespect your women. Don't do this. Don't do that. Yo, and then it turned hardcore because certain business aspects of it changed. And I watched that happen.
Okay. Okay. All
So
right.
much, so much to peel back the layers on
Oh, I
that.
already know.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
I already know this, even based on our conversation. There's so much of what we're going to address that could just be a whole episode in itself, right? So we're not trying to do it an injustice by, just keeping it succinct. But yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Now, I do have another question for you, Kevin.
Sure. Ask me anything.
Okay. So like, how did your relationship with anyone, right, including Tupac, influence your relationships with yourself, your purpose, and your community?
Well, let's start with my community.
Absolutely.
I
Okay.
lived on a block where, they didn't think we would amount to anything because I was with a group called Live Squad.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you come down the block like this, people on your block looking at you like, oh, he ain't gonna amount to nothing. He a thug and all that with the gold teeth and the bling bling.
Mm-hmm.
But little did they know that, look, we're trying to get our moms out the hood. We're trying to do what we trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some dudes around me hustled in the game and all that. I was never a hustler. But I think with that being said, I because everyone has an identity crisis in their life, trying to figure out things. What
Mm-hmm.
am I going to do? Who am I? And then you stumble across something that you're passionate about. You don't know where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you enter into the music industry, and I want to answer your question correctly, you start meeting individuals like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just jump on this real quick. I've been on 3, 4 tours already.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're back in your hotel room 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, why they at the bar getting drunk? Is that so and so? I ain't gonna mention no names.
Mm-hmm.
That's so and so. And then you meet up with them, and they're like, "You don't know what the fuck I'm going through in life." And I'm like, "But damn, you got a hit record,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but you're here, spazzing out because the world could put you up here, but you're really down here. But you grew up here as a multi-platinum artist.
Mm-hmm.
But in life, it's hard for you to come back down to this, where your mother raised you, where your family loves you. Like, I brought you your first microphone. You better get your ass in here and take that garbage out.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can become so complacent because you are trying to please people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to look at me like this. I don't want them to think of me like this. And I don't, because you have lived up to the image the world has placed you under.
Mm-hmm.
But true artists, we don't care about selling gold and platinum records. I was going to throw those things away. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling y'all because of the pain and stuff I've been through. But the thing is that you have to redefine yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about the money. It ain't about this. So when I met Tupac was so radical,
Mm-hmm.
but he lacked, just like me. I became radical for the culture, but I lacked.
Mm-hmm.
What did I lack is not something that someone else would lack. You could be short tempered, lack of patience, this or that, whatever your flaw is. If you allow that to overtake you, and don't know how to like humble yourself. Hey y'all, I got a bad attitude. Look, I'm sorry if I'm getting on y'all nerves. I had a bad day today because you learn yourself. But then you have some people that'll be like, man, that's the way God made me. I don't care. This is how I am. Screw everybody. This is what's up. What? What?
Mm-hmm.
So what? But then at the end of the night, you know full well in your conscience you was wrong.
Okay, because
It's too late to correct that.
you know you was wrong.
You know you was wrong, but it's you don't went to the point of no return.
Mm-hmm.
Had plenty of fights where driving back home, we blaming dude like, man, it was you, man. Every time you drink, man, you be on some bull. Yeah, I know, man. Y'all know how I get down, man. So when you are growing into a business, everybody's not a business person.
That's true. That's
You
very.
meet the person and you be like, damn, all this time I thought you was this way. How many times you met somebody and you be like, all this time I was so wrong
Mm-hmm.
because people are wearing masks or bringing a representation of themselves.
Absolutely.
But Tupac taught me the radicalness,
Mm-hmm.
how to love the culture. But what I can say to the world, what when you hear Tupac being angry is because he's being hurt. He's hurt. If somebody say, "Man, you Tupac, we like Biggie better," that would hurt him. It would be on his mind all day, and I visualize it until all kind of other stuff, and I can explain a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but Tupac and Biggie could have mended it. They could have became friends. How many times when you was young and you said to your best friend, "I can't stand your ass.
You right.
Yeah, what? What you want to do? What you want to do?" And then 3 days later, y'all saying,
We
"Man,
love.
you know how you are. Man, I know I was wrong, but you did that. You did that. Yeah, I know, and I know." And then back to best friends again 2 weeks later.
Absolutely. That makes sense. That
And
makes.
that's what happened. But I'm not here to go into details because a lot of people ask me so many questions about the Tupac and the Biggie beef and all of that stuff. But what I'm saying is what I learned from him is the love of the culture and how to impact culture through music. And that's what excelled my music creativity because I never created a beat to say, "Oh man, wait till so and so rap on this," or "Wait till so and so rap on this." It's just I visualized like
Mhm.
Michael Jackson with the Earth song, you
Mhm.
know, and all of these things that will impact visually.
That makes sense. Okay. All right. And so one last question under this category. Okay. So I'm sure in life you've experienced loss, right? And even with the loss of Tupac, right? Um, can you talk about the relationship between grief and growth and processing how that loss transformed your mission? So how has that loss and grief, the growth from that, how has that transformed your mission? Has it had an impact at all?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is my mother.
Mm, mhm,
I
mhm,
mean, we could talk about Tupac and the loss of Biggie. Tupac did a song called "God Bless the Dead,"
mhm, mhm,
and I produced that song. And he said, "Rest in peace to my motherfucking Biggie Smalls." Y'all can do that right now. Go and search "God Bless the Dead," and
mhm.
everybody thought he was talking about Biggie Smalls. No, they was talking about my man Biggie. I got a homie that we call Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
And when
Okay.
he passed away, his mother told the city to throw his body away. And he used to always squeeze my shoulder. And when he got killed, one night I was sleeping, I felt him squeezing my shoulder. I got up, went downtown, won custody of his body before they shipped it to Pottersfield, and I buried him. But to your question, I think about my mom
Mhm, mhm,
because growing up in Harlem, she was a single parent raising 4 kids. And she used to always do this. Don't you ever let nobody or anything change who you are.
mhm, mhm,
And my mother met everybody. She met Pac, Biggie, Nas, and all kind of us. But she was the type of mother that was like, "Y'all better come in here and get some food. Y'all gonna be in that studio all night. And Kevin, you better bring back my Tupperware." You know, and she didn't care.
mhm, mhm,
So when she passed, it changed everything.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
Because you ever have a parent that would drill into your head, but you don't get it until later on in life, like, damn, dad was right, mom was right.
mhm, mhm. Absolutely.
And so that's what changed me. My
Okay.
mother was never proud about my hip hop career growing with all of the cameras and all of the record deals that I signed. She was more happy when I changed it to impact people
Mhm, mhm,
because we have to evolve. My life is not surrounded by hip hop. I'm grateful for what I contributed to hip hop. I'm
mhm,
a hip hop icon. Yeah, music is different now, but guess what? In business, I get a lot of love. I get a lot of respect in business.
mhm,
And if you don't have an integrity about yourself, if you haven't grown, because when I had my kids, I had my daughter, I never produced another gangster record, and I share that with the world.
Okay.
You play gangster music for my kids right now. They'd be like, could you please turn that off? Because I had a music studio in my house. Come on. So one plays the violin, one plays the piano, and they started writing their own music. And I didn't know that was going to excel them in school. But once my mom passed, it was like that changed everything for me.
Okay.
Hip hop was something of a passion. It wasn't something that I desired really. Like I said, living in New York, you're gonna get into all kind of stuff. But I was focused on trying to find out who I am. And sometimes death can become the beginning of life for you,
Absolutely.
whether you're spiritual or not. But that changed me a whole lot, changed my direction. And I learned that I had a sphere of influence and I had to evolve that based on what I learned in hip hop. And hopefully that's in conducive to what you are asking me.
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely is. And even into some other areas too. Okay. So yeah, thank you for that. Absolutely. Yeah, I do see your comments out there.
I want to know what the comments, what they saying.
Oh, we got you.
I
Like,
can't see the comments. Let me see the comments, yo.
look, they going in here, okay? And we have a moment where I'm going to bring them all on too.
Okay.
So one of the things that I asked my listeners is, has there been a relationship in your life, a friendship, a mentor, a family member that completely changed your trajectory, right? So has there been anyone, right? So that's something that I'm waiting for my fellow listeners to comment on, but we can go ahead and move on. All right, and I will bring on the comments because it is a lot of love in the comments. So I'm gonna bring
I
those.
appreciate the love, y'all. I do.
Absolutely. All right, so let's see here. Let's go to how relationships led you to mission. Okay, so all right, so this is where the story is gonna get really interesting, y'all, because look, Kevin could have just stayed in the music industry, right? Kevin, you could have just done that. He could have just kept producing, kept collecting checks, kept riding the wave of his legacy, but something shifted. Okay. And I think just from my conversation, that shift came from understanding that relationships that we build come with responsibility, right? You kind of touched on that a little bit. So, we've already talked about, how Pac loved the community, he poured in the people, and from what I understand, he made everybody in the room feel seen. So, Kevin, you saw all that, and my question to you is this. My first question is, what was the relationship between your success in music, right, and your call to serve the community? So, what was the relationship between your success in music and your call to serve the community?
What changed it?
Yes.
And just recently, like I said, I'm a transparent guy. And I don't mean to be emotional. I'm a real dude, y'all. I'm a real dude, straight up. I used to be a goon with goons. Try me, I'll get you. I could take this camera to my garage, show you what kind of cars I drive. I don't care about that. What changed me is almost losing my life.
Okay.
Almost lost my life about 5 times. I don't need to get into just being at the wrong place at the wrong time and all of that stuff. And we used to pray for our contracts.
Okay.
And somebody came to me while I was going to get my smoke. I smoke a lot of blunts. And somebody came to me and said, God is trying to get your attention.
Ooh.
I'm like looking at this man like, what are you talking about? And he said, you're talking to him, but you can't hear him talking back to you. When I was with Tupac's family, when he first moved to Atlanta, his mother and they called her grandma. The world never heard this. I'm giving y'all this for the first time. And she was like, when he was 10, 11 years old, God gave her a vision. But
Mhm.
she saw Satan standing behind him, laughing at her. And Tupac used to go to her like, "Yo, grandma, what's up? I
Mhm.
ain't rich. You talking about this diamonds and gold and all this stuff you seeing me in? Go to Google and type in Tupac in a bathtub with gold and all that. That was her vision that she saw.
Wow. Okay.
So when I started tapping into that after I was murdered, I was like, yo, God, I'm saying no. Yo, holla at your boy,
Mhm.
That's what changed me.
Okay. Okay.
And before I threw those plaques away, God said, I had a purpose for you. So
Mhm.
your purpose has to be like a burning bush with Moses.
Mhm.
Moses saw a burning bush. It wasn't that he knew that was God. He just couldn't believe that a bush is burning and it's not being consumed.
Mhm.
So in our lives, something has to happen that will catch you like, this cannot be real.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's what happened to me. So I took the thug life. We created thug life for Tupac. We influenced thug life for Tupac.
Mhm.
Tupac, with Game of Survival, um, um, he wanted to call it Game of Survival. And
Mhm.
so we said, call it, um, um, what were you saying? It wasn't thug life. It was just the government was creating thugs with the guns and drugs that they was putting into the neighborhoods, and that we're saying call it the life of a thug.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's when he created Thug Life, and we produced half that album. But in music, like we were saying, that's what transcended different things in music because of the culture. But I had an epiphany in my life as a music producer,
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
and it changed my direction.
Okay. Thank you for that. So, you mentor young people, right? What are you learning from them as much as teaching them? Would you say?
I learned from being in mentorship programs is that parents are trying to, because every parent is not a parent, it's just people who had kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I would never tell parents to change, their structure or their standards.
Mm-hmm.
They have to change their methods. Back in the days, bread was 50 cents. We didn't have what y'all had today. You put a rotary phone in front of some of the young kids, they can't dial your number. So we were trying to teach. So what I did was I innovated. All of us right now, under the sound of my voice, has a sphere of influence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whether you're a doctor, lawyer, law enforcement, because everybody don't want to be a rapper. Everybody don't want to be a music producer. Some people want to be a medical professional, law enforcement, government official, different things. They know where their brain is wired, their purpose, and what they have acquired.
Mm-hmm.
And so in different places that I speak, I would do this thing like it's an alarm clock. Tick, 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 tick. Brrrring. That means this is the time of your life that there's something that needs to wake up inside of you to usher you in to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a techie, but I love music. Music wasn't my purpose, but I feel like the higher power, God, or my spiritual balance has allowed me to use it to impact the culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes down to mentorship and all of that stuff, the world seeing is believing.
Mm-hmm.
So every place I go and I pull out these plaques, everybody like, oh, yo,
Yeah,
right?
really.
But everybody is not going to make it being a rapper, singer, or producer, because deep down inside, that's not what you really want to be. Because every place I go, I'll be like, yo, before I even begin, I want to know your name. I want to know who you aspire to be. Oh, my name is Jamal. I want to be a brain surgeon. Oh, my name is Shaquana. I want to own my own corporation to give free health care. I'll be like, wait. You want to own your own corporation to give free health care? And that's before I bring these out. And I'm like, why? Because I've been monitoring the world and healthcare is so da 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 da. Why you want to be a brain surgeon, Jamal? Because I'm fascinated with YouTube videos and boom, boom, boom. And I'll be like, let me tell y'all about me. My name is Lo, you know what I'm saying? I'm from New York and blah, blah, blah. And I pull out these and everybody like, oh, shoot, you got to listen to our Instagram. You got to listen to me. Yo, we cold, man. We cold. And I'd be like, wait a minute, Shaquana, you told me you wanted to own your own corporation to give free healthcare. Jamal, you wanted to be a brain surgeon. What happened when I told you about this? You saying you're a rapper. Man, I'm cold, dog. We good. Man, I'm telling you. Shaquana like, I'm telling you, man. Technology has caused our youngins, man, to lose focus on their purpose. So this is what I do. I don't hate on hip hop. And I'm gonna get back to this. I would tell them, be that person to own your own corporation to get free health care.
That's
Be
right.
that dude to be the brain surgeon. And at the end of the week, when you get your check, go to the studio to see if you got it, because thousands and thousands upon thousands of our young people across this place called America, if it's 3.4 million high schoolers, everybody's like this, turning up, fighting, and all this, but yet they want to be that healthcare professional.
Absolutely.
Go and see if you got what it takes when you become that, to see if you could be that rapper, singer, or producer. I don't put it down. It's just different from when I was doing it.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
That's what I learned from Tupac.
Okay. I love that. Now, let me ask you this, because I love what you said about basically like kids being open to being in other spaces, right? And even
Right.
in the space that you're in, because you in tech, and I'm always so impressed when I hear people are in technology. I'm like, I'm so impressed with that, right? This is my question for you. So, how do you see the relationship, right, between music, production, technology, and entrepreneurship for the next generation? Right? You kind of touched on a Costco
You
sample,
know,
but
we have what you call social media, or anything that's in the palm of your hand, whether it's a phone or
mhm,
computer.
mhm,
Do you know your computer is a server?
mhm,
You can master it unless you let it master you.
mhm,
Anything you want to learn at college is not for everybody, number one.
that's very
And once music industry turned into tech, and I was going to the studio, I'm seeing the engineer on the computer, like, what the hell he doing on the computer? Man, this is Pro Tools, man, and blah, 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 blah. Now I could produce a track, and somebody could be in China, Russia, India, France, Italy, Germany. They don't have to physically be here because of technology.
mhm, mhm,
So, you can take it as far as you want it. God has blessed us with what we call a brain.
mhm,
What you put it to is up to you. I refuse to allow someone around me saying, man, I don't know what to do, man. Okay, stop smoking weed, stop drinking at such a young age, and let's focus on what you really want to do.
mhm, mhm,
Because trust me when I tell you, everybody don't drink or smoke,
mhm,
but a lot of people do. And the more money you make, if you're a smoker, the more smoke you're going to smoke, the more drink you're going to drink, The more powder you're going to sniff, the more pills you're going to pop. So we have to learn how, learn ourselves first.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
I'm guilty of it. Trust me. I smoked a lot of weed, man, and I regret it because it took a lot of years away from this.
Okay.
So we have to elevate ourselves. We have to advance. And many things are put in our path to keep us below that.
Mm-hmm.
We are powerful beings, yo.
Yes, we are. We are very.
Very powerful. Little do we know, but sometimes we don't have those people around us. So that's why I started my company to mentor and to get around a lot of kids. And yeah, I've been around so many younger people that was nervous to come up on me. I was like, man, what are you looking all scared for? Come on over here, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know where they at.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't have their dads, some people don't have their moms and all that. I became so passionate about that kind of stuff.
Okay. Okay. All righty. So let's see here. So it sounds like what you're speaking about is a paradigm shift, right? That said, like you're still like shifting, and your audience actually could be in the middle of that shift as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, what process would you recommend for any of your audience or just anybody kind of holding on to that old way? Does that make sense? That old way of thinking, that way of thinking. What would you say to that?
I think it depends on what is the old way.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
And lots of times when we grow up, I would never call the hood the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've lived in the south side of Chicago, west side of Chicago, Harlem, South Jamaica, Queens, different hoods where you hit a pow, 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 like oh shoot, and when you are used to that now more than ever, that doesn't define where you're going.
That makes sense.
So the influences, and like I stated before, some people don't know where they're going, what to do. We have to find something that can interest us. And I grew up without my dad, so that made it kind of challenging for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But now, go on YouTube, learn how to do this, learn how to do that, learn how to do that, learn how to do this without a college degree. We have so much at our fingertips, but something has to be influenced. Everybody don't live in a neighborhood that it's like, oh, this is all good. No, I'm from that. So I can relate to that. That's why I go back to that. And even in some of the most challenging neighborhoods, there are different structures that's trying to get you involved. Let's figure this out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But we in the right now generation. I want this right now.
Very microwave, very right now, very instant.
Very instant.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to persevere. You don't want to work for it. So trust me, at the end of a year, you'll be like, damn, I'm so glad I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you learn so much that you needed to learn in order to grow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's all it is. Because my lines are open. I'm always trying to help people, to influence my people, because younger people are my future. You can innovate this. You could have been a producer of Tupac, better than me, with way more platinum and gold and platinum records. But my thing is, if you reach that plateau, what are you going to do with it?
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Are you going to innovate it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's see here. And I see y'all comments. I promise I'm gonna bring them
Please
up.
bring up the comments. I don't like doing all the
Ready for some
talking.
comments, Kevin? You ready for some? Were you ready for some comments?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see
Come
here.
on with it. Come on with it.
All right, so let's see here. So Tonality says, what started your journey into producing? I started producing when Babyface dropped my singing group, Something to Say, from LaFace Records. Timberland inspired me after hearing One in a Million.
That's what you said. What started my journey into producing?
Yes.
Well, when you live around everybody, I lived around Jay-Z producers. I lived around the corner from Tribe Called Quest and around 50 Cent and all of them. So I was always into music,
Mm-hmm.
DJing, and I used to like mix a beat. That's why a lot of artists went platinum back then, because you had to buy two records and
Mm-hmm.
you mix it. So you're buying two records, everybody buying two records and mixing it. But I learned how to take it to the next level. I started doing blends, acapellas, because you could buy a record and it'll have the acapella on it. And
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the first DJs to do acapella with a instrumental beat. So that transcended on when some guys I moved into another part of Queens said, let's go to the studio. And then I learned the whole studio environment.
Okay.
And that just opened up. And that's how I started producing.
Okay. Okay. All right. All
Yeah,
right. There was
but
a
one thing I would say to people, if I don't care if it's Timberland, nothing against Timberland, Babyface, and all that, I never ran home and go, yo, Timberland and Babyface love my shit. Man, no, because you can base your career off of what people think. No, you do how you do, whether they like it or not. And that's how it was in New York. Like, screw everybody, man. I'm doing my thing. Because you could come home and they will like it, but guess what? They don't like it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And you come home feeling all like, damn, Babyface liked it, but Russell Simmons didn't like it. Interscope Records didn't like it. Sony didn't like it. And
mm-hmm,
so now you want to go run the, not saying you, whoever just said that,
mm-hmm.
want to go run the Babyface, and I'm like, yo, it's me. No, you create. It was always about creativity. Who liked it or not, this is you. This is what makes you. And guess what? Later on, everybody likes it. How many songs you ever heard that you never liked before? And you're like, you know what? I'm starting to really like this song.
Absolutely.
You
Right.
feel me? You feel me? Like, man, I didn't like this before, but this is my shit.
Yeah,
You
that's
feel
right
me?
there.
And that's real creativity.
Absolutely. So there's another question that came through. It says,
Sure.
what's the highest form of value a mentee can bring to a mentor like you, beyond time, beyond money?
Hmm. Being transparent.
Yes.
Now, y'all want me to keep it 100?
You know what? Keep it
I'm
a
gonna keep it 100 because the young man was my people's,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and I used to be like, "Yo, man, I feel what you feeling, man. But listen. I'm gonna holler at you, man. I used to masturbate when I was 13, 14, man.
mm-hmm,
Hell, I ain't know nothing. My body was feeling all certain kind of way.
mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how to talk to girls and stuff. He's like, oh, really, Mr. Rames? Are you serious? I'm like, why are you acting like that? He said, because I can't stop masturbating.
Hmm.
So when you are mentee, you are meeting them where they at.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Look, no disrespect to y'all women. A man is going to be a man. And I had a son, and people, their kids would call me 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Like, Mr. Raines, I'm like, no. As a mentor, there's a cutoff switch where
mm-hmm,
I can't cross that line. And they started looking up to me where real life issues is not how it was when I was going through real life issues. We got kids seeing dead bodies on the street, dead bodies on TikTok, dead bodies on YouTube,
mm-hmm,
dead bodies on whatever platform. So the trauma is real right now.
mm-hmm.
And there's no way of balancing that out because they don't have a male figure to be like, yo, dog, come on. So
Mhm.
there's plenty of times where I devoted my time for free for kids that want to be the alderman, kids that want to be a government official, medical profession, law enforcement, but they're trying to reach for something
Mhm.
that can be seem so like unrealistic, but I can come to them to make it realistic because
Okay.
it's like what a lot of kids are dealing with is not what we dealt with at my age, at least back then.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I keep it 100, man, all day.
And I appreciate that. Transparency is everything. Like my.
Transparency is everything. I don't mean to go that deep, but I've been in the hood where everybody call it the hood,
Mhm.
and sometimes they feel like there's no hope. There's nothing to reach for. No, I refuse to believe that. There's a lot to reach for. We
Ab-
keep labeling things. We allow the world to label this.
mhm. Absolutely, we do. We do have a few more comments. We have a lot of
Please,
comments.
come on with it.
We might go over a little time tonight, but that's all right. It's my show. I can do what I do. All right. So, Terry, thank you so much for joining us, Terry. We really appreciate you. Did you have any tracks that you produced for Pot that never got released that would have been hitters?
Um, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, when hurts the most.
Mm-hmm.
It got released on YouTube, but it didn't hit the airwaves. Um, Danger Times, um, Big Time. Wow, wow. It's like two or three others that's escaping me right now. But something happened where we trusted somebody with them, and they released it on YouTube, but it never hit the record labels or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now there's a song that I did when you listen to um, Only Fear of Death.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Biggie wrote Biggie, can't you see? He begged me for that track, but already wrote Only Fear of Death. Only Fear of Death. And if you listen to that track and sing the hook, Biggie, can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize. He wrote that to that track, but he couldn't get it because Tupac was so adamant on that track. I couldn't snatch it away from him and give it to Biggie, which I do regret to this day. Tupac would have just had to be mad at me because I didn't know Biggie was going to reach that demise in his life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Now, I do have another question. Someone says, can you speak on the importance of understanding the business as a creative?
The business aspect of creative.
Mm-hmm.
What
Can
do they mean by that?
Can you speak on the importance of understanding the business as a creative? Like, so as someone who creates, can you speak on the importance of
The business.
understanding?
What
Yeah.
I would tell people is Google all you need to know about the music industry.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because you could have a person that's, I don't know, depending upon where you live. I done been to 13 countries and all 48 states already.
mm-hmm,
Depending upon where you live. If Jay-Z walked in the room, are you gonna be like, "Ooh, that's Jay-Z, yo," or you be like, "Oh, that's Jay-Z, whatever.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I could do it just like him. I
mm-hmm,
could do it better than him." Those are the type of artists I like to work with
mm-hmm,
because creativity is like this. You could be jogging in a park one day and you see this artist or a person that's painting a picture. You keep jogging and jogging and jogging and jogging and jogging in this park. And every time you see this man, he keeps painting pictures that has nothing to do with the surroundings. So one day you was compelled to come to him and say, "Sir, why do you Draw these pictures that has nothing to do with the surroundings. You have two types of reactions. An artist is going to have a meaning. Well, my dad used to bring me here, and I used to be like, Dad, that is a beautiful portrait. But an entertainer is going to say, well, I stand to make 3.5 million because this town is known for all of their auctions,
Mm-hmm.
and my paintings can make money. So the motives, because everybody could sit here and say, I'll never sell my soul, man. I'll never do this and I'll never do that. Man, I ain't about the money, man. I'm telling you, I love it. Yeah, be tested.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the level is different up here. If you never been up here, how could you say you'll never do this or do that up here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you're down here paying your bills, trying to make it.
Mm-hmm. That makes
I've been up there and I failed up there.
sense. Okay. Absolutely. Let's see here. So many questions.
Love the questions, y'all. Appreciate it.
Let's see here. So, all right. So, in today's industry with social media, is it better to have a label deal or stay independent?
Independent.
Okay. All right.
Or if you know how to work the business contract, because with a label deal, at least you're going to be heard all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the term of the contract should be shortened. But if you're a music producer, you got your own studio, you got your own team, which in our culture does not last. We all don't get along with each other. Man, if it wasn't for me, man, and then we break up. Soon as we reach a plateau where we're supposed to sustain it
Mm-hmm.
in business, or if you got the paper, you got the money to invest yourself in an independent, you'll go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
But we tend to step into lanes that we don't belong in. I'm a music producer. I'm a visionary. I'm not going to step into a lane of the marketing. Like, look, this is not how you should market me. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. No. If you create a team, it's no I in team. It's us.
That's right.
But
That's
unfortunately, everybody got this bling bling and trying to get the money, the money, and money instead of trying to grow and sustain. Because once you reach your niche, if you got 100,000 people that's following you, multiply that to 1 million,
mm-hmm.
multiply that to 1 billion, but keep your team. But too many times we don't get along. Man, nigga, man, I can do this by myself. Man, I don't care. As soon
Absolutely.
as we reach the platform of money, what they say, the love of money is the root of all evil.
The root.
The root. What is the root, though?
Mm-hmm.
Your
Mm.
appetites. Our
Good.
appetites. And I learned that. And so that's why I sustain my integrity with mine. I still impact people. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, because you're going to get the haters. I get haters all day. I don't care, man. We like Biggie better. I don't care. Look what I did in business.
Absolutely. That speaks about
It's
that's what's speaking.
good.
So we do have a couple more questions and then I'm gonna get you out of
I'm
here.
sorry if I'm doing a lot of talking, but I love my people with the
Oh,
question.
absolutely. Oh, yeah. And we gonna get through them though. We're gonna get through them. So here's another question. Let's see here. The question is, I just lost it. Okay, to come back. All right. So let me okay. So how important was your background and impact in music when it came to building relationships within the community as a philanthropist?
Wow. I would say not taken away from anyone,
Mm-hmm.
because that's very dear to me. I feel like we all have what you call a sphere of influence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's Tupac producer. Yo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have three perspectives. I'm gonna we can impact people,
Mm-hmm.
because when you impact people, they're gonna listen to you.
Absolutely.
My next thing is, if you're gonna listen to me, I'm gonna empower you. How? By feeding you. to let you know, don't make me the biggest elephant in the room. You could do this too.
Absolutely.
Nobody can do it like you. Nobody can do it like me. I've done it, but it don't stop there back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's still it's growing. It has to flourish. It has to be nurtured.
Absolutely.
So that's what it is with me. And when I first started seeing that I can grow this to impact people, when I was talking, my first time talking, the whole room is like, I'm looking at them like, why are they looking at me like that? Nobody's texting, and somebody came to me like, yo, nobody was texting. Oh my gosh, yeah, Thug Life producer. Yeah, but people don't know what Thug Life was. Thug Life was for the culture, and I was passionate about the culture. But when I got in front of the culture looking at me like, yo, you impacted me. Oh shit. But I'm sitting there like, whoa, what's happening right now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it catches you by surprise. But what I'm saying, we all have something that God has gifted us with.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
You can reach people. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
just stay in my lane with it. Because I can learn from everybody who's even asking me questions. If you was to be on the phone with me, I'll be like, yo, I never knew that.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
I do. I absolutely do. Okay, we got a couple more questions. All right. So look, okay, so this is question. Let's see here. Where is it? Oh, not that one. Hold on. These questions, they're coming in. So when I try to put them on, okay, so Derek says, do you believe Pac is alive in Cuba or somewhere?
Oh, God.
You knew that was coming, right?
I get it all the time.
You knew that was
But
coming.
let's not do that, because I could sit here and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna tell you what I heard, what I know," and
That's
I want to create a whole nother dialogue that's moving away. And I respect that question, sir. But this is not a platform for that. I get a lot of controversy with a lot of things because a lot of people weren't around what I experienced, what happened at the ending of our separation,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you
Okay.
know. But this is not a place for that. I appreciate the question. I get that all the time. If you respect that about me, I used to be with Tupac's mom,
Mm-hmm.
and when she passed away, it hurt me. And so I think I devoted my life as a person that was very influential in his life to respect that for his mom,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because she loved us, man. And the conversations we had, I wouldn't even get on. Notice y'all don't see me on social media like, yo, I'm telling y'all, let me tell y'all what time it is. Nah, I don't do that out of respect for the family.
Absolutely. One more question. Let's see. How has your journey in music and philanthropy helped to strengthen your relationship with self at this stage?
Wow, I love that question.
Relationship with self, because that's something that we talk about a
I'm
lot.
gonna tell you, we cannot do it ourselves, y'all.
We cannot. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
any man listening under the sound of my voice, listen to Dr. Tony Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Tony Evans, Kingdom Man, is something that helped me understand who I am, man. You know, hip hop wasn't my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't put life into things. You put life into yourself. It's almost like we could sit here and say, I'm not happy. Who told you you're not happy?
That's right.
You can walk out your door and go snow sledding right now, all this snow, and be so happy, like, man, this is so fun. That's happiness.
Mm-hmm.
But when we put happiness into things that is so not life,
Mm-hmm.
you're already happy. So I've been influenced to help me grow. And so we were talking earlier, and I was telling her, if you sit here and say, I want to be blessed, I want happiness,
Mm-hmm.
how can that happen? We live on a place called planet Earth. And I ask people, how can you be blessed? Well, I'm blessed by waking up every day. Yeah, God has given us another day. But you asking for something to change this right here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How do I change this?
Absolutely.
It ain't going to be you. It's going to be somebody else. Because if you're in a place of the uncertainty of no hope and all that, that's the perfect place where God wants you so he can blow your mind.
I love
You can
that.
go to the grocery store and say, man, I'm going to get me some juice, man. I'll be right back. And you standing online, somebody staring at you. Are you going to look at them and be like, man, what the fuck you looking at, man? Or you looking at them like, can I help you? He's like, no, 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 no. You just look so familiar. What's your name, man? Hey, what do you do? I don't know what I do, man. I'm just trying to make it. He's like, here, take my card. It's something about you. And that man could usher you into your destiny.
That's it. That's it. That's
We are blessed to be a blessing, and sometimes your blessing comes through others. And I
absolutely.
give all credit to my engineer. I was a whack producer, y'all. I wasn't all that good, but he took me under his wing in the music studio and he said, listen to me, man. Stop smoking the weed. Stop drinking, man. I want you to hang with me. And I started hanging with him. And he's like, yo, drums, yo, beats, your stuff is off, man. And he started schooling me. And that's what allowed me to work with Nas, Tupac, and Biggie.
I love that.
I was not good.
And I love your transparency. So we're gonna wrap this up, Kevin. So let me ask you this. If people, because I know that you're not on social media, right?
Nope.
So if people want to get in contact with you, how would you prefer? Would you prefer
Groundwatch at Gmail.
ground
That's
watch
my
it?
email. Y'all can get at me at groundwatch at Gmail. When I
Absolutely.
was in the schools, I couldn't get them my number because I met so many smart little young individuals. But at a certain age, you gotta have protocols with that. But your audience, groundwatch at Gmail.
Okay.
Holla at your boy, man, cause yo, it's only because my mom, when I came back to this, I took the gold teeth off, the diamonds off, and all that. It's just that the world is turned dark, man.
Mhm.
And us as music producers or those who had an influence on this platform, we gotta be real with this, man. I got
Absolutely.
people pulling all over me, man, but I'm very careful who I rock with.
And you have to be. You absolutely have to be. You have to
But
protect
I,
your
I
space.
just want to thank you for allowing me to have this time with y'all. You know, it's so much that I could expound on, but I appreciate the comments and anybody who's watching, you know, even the haters. I don't care. I love y'all too because you got to reach this level of life. And hopefully, when you do, it made sense.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you. I would consider you a divine connection, just even the conversations that we've had. And I appreciate you blessing my listeners today with your transparency, with these jewels and stuff, because it's going to help someone. Right. So I definitely appreciate you, your wisdom, your heart, all of that. So, if you're cool with it, I'm gonna take you off so I can close this thing out because look, Kevin, I got this joke, right? On
Yeah.
Tuesdays be my long day because by day I'm a professor, right? So
Right.
like I got class and all of that, I got all this stuff going on, proper time to eat. So by the time the show happens, right? I'm hungry. So by the time 8 o'clock, and so my listeners, like even one person said, hey, it's that time, what you like to eat or whatever, it's Lisa's eating time. So anyway, Kevin, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I wish you light and blessings in everything that you do.
And same here to all y'all listeners. I appreciate y'all even taking this time out to even listen to me. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Cause yo, I'm a 100 dude. I'm here, man. I ain't hard to reach.
Absolutely. And a DM me too if you want to get in contact. If you did, I'll put your anyone that DMs me or inboxes me, I will share your email with them if they want to reach out to you. So I'm gonna
All
take
right.
it from here for now, just so that we can go ahead and close out. So thank you again.
All right. My pleasure.
Thank you. All right, y'all. Y'all heard it here first. Thank y'all so much for all the love tonight, all of your comments, and I really definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you all. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up because you already know that I have the affirmations, all of that, right? So let me go ahead and put this affirmation out here for y'all today. Let me go ahead and get that going. Close on out because y'all already know. I'm surprised y'all didn't hear my stomach growling because it sure was growling on today. I'm just being honest with you. All right, so let me go ahead and put this affirmation out here for y'all. All right. My computer's running a little slow, so forgive me. All right, so the affirmation for today: I'm a divine vessel of legacy and impact. Every word I speak, every action I take, every life I touch is part of the infinite plan of good unfolding through me. All right. Absolutely. So y'all can rest with that one. So again, y'all, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for listening. Y'all already know I got to get it all in. And then I'm gonna say my thank yous, get out of here. Cause look, I got some good dinner lined up for tonight. All right. So as y'all already know, Relationship Soup, what? Period, right? The group, Relationship Soup Group, okay? Then we have, if you want to follow me, it's Relationship Soup LLC. And of course, the website, relationshipsoup.com for all your greeting card needs, all right? And so up in that corner there, I'm pointing, right? Hopefully I get it right because sometimes it's backwards. Hello, me. Now, y'all still see the proof on there. My author's copies are on the way. So, get at me. We can talk about if you want a signed copy or whatever. Hello, me, available now on Amazon. The ebook released in February the 23rd, right? And then we have the hardback and also the paperback as well. Gift a child the positivity of words. They need to know how to have a positive sense of self. Learn positive words, speak positive, because there's power in words. And we've even seen that tonight, right? So anyway, Hello Me, available on Amazon right now. So y'all, I definitely appreciate all of you. I love you all so much. Let's see here. What else do I got? Oh, let me give my shout outs because they got on me, y'all. I missed one time and you would think, oh, Lisa don't never be. Listen, I missed one time. It was just one time. That was it, y'all. So even my mama was like, I ain't hear nothing last. Mama, my bad, right? I ain't do no shout outs last week. So special thank you to Kevin, Low, Q, Kevin Rhames. Thank you so much for your wisdom and knowledge and your service. Again, we really appreciate that. I appreciate you, brother. Special shout out to my mama. Mama, thank you for listening. And my bad about last week, right? I just kind of, sometimes it just happened like that. So shout out to my mama, the Grishams, Lyric, Aunt Anna, to all my listeners. I appreciate you all so much. And if you're joining for the first time, thank you so much. Make sure that y'all subscribing and join me next time, because I'm telling you, next episode, it's going to be just as dope, right? And just remember, it always starts with you. It starts with you, okay? Love yourself. Think about how you can be of service, not only to others, but service to self, all right? So until we meet next time, peace.